Hello dear viewers and welcome to T-World. Kindly hit the subscribe button and we will be on our way. In today's news, remarks toward the end of the week from individuals from the House Select Committee into the assault on the U.S. Legislative Center proposed that the council is moving towards suggesting a criminal reference against ex-President Donald Trump, encouraging the Justice Department to arraign Trump for his job in the endeavored upset of January 6, 2021. These comments should be seen in the radiance of the staggering declaration June 28 by previous White House Assistant Cassidy Hutchinson about Trump's arrangements to go with the crowd of his allies to the Capitol building and go along with them in the assault, which was pointed toward ending the legislative affirmation of Trump's loss in the Electoral College. Her record has been affirmed and enhanced in a few press reports that followed. Advisory Group Vice Chair Liz Cheney gave her most memorable meeting since the hearings started, plunking down with Jonathan Karl of ABC News. With segments broadcast on Sunday morning's This Week program, Karl found out if the hearings exhibited that Trump ought to be indicted. While Cheney noticed that the choice would be made by the Justice Department, she left no question about where the Board of Trustees was taking. I figure we might well as a panel have a view on that and looking at this logically according to the viewpoint of what sort of man realizes that a horde is furnished and sends the crowd to go after the Capitol and further prompts that crowd when his own VP is under danger. When the Congress is under danger, it's actual chilling. She added, there could be more than one criminal reference. Despite the fact that it was not satisfactory whether she implied different charges against Trump or various people accused of violations, or both, asked what it would intend to see a previous president indicted, one who was probable running for president once more. Cheney said the more prominent danger was not to indict. She proceeded to say that the Republican Party can't get by assuming he's our chosen one. Popularity-based Board of Trustees Part Adam Schiff of California, showing up on Face the Nation on CBS, concurred with Cheney that there could be various criminal references to the Justice Department. He said, for a considerable length of time, the Justice Department took the place that you can't prosecute a sitting president, assuming the department were presently to take the place that you can't research or prosecute a previous president. Then, at that point, a president becomes exempt from the rules that everyone else follows. That is an extremely risky thought that the founders couldn't ever have bought into. Considerably more perilous, I think, on account of Donald Trump. Two other panel individuals talked about the further course of the examination. Adam Kinzinger, showing up on CNN's Condition of the Union, said more observers have approached in light of Hutchinson's broadcast declaration to offer their records. Zoe Lofgren said the advisory group was in conversation with Trump's last White House counsel, Pat Cipollone, whose job was referred to in Hutchinson's declaration as somebody who over and over cautioned that Trump's arrangements to go to the Capitol on January 6 would expose him to criminal arraignment. Cipollone has declined to affirm after swearing to tell the truth, referring to chief honor. However, the panel has now given a summons expecting him to give a testimony on Wednesday, July 6. Lofgren called attention to that the ongoing President Joe Biden has postponed leader honor for all White House discussions connecting with the occasions of January 6, alluding to Cipollone. She said, we will likely hear from him, and I think given the declaration of Ms. Hutchinson that he was attempting to keep wrongdoings from being perpetrated on that day, I would accept that he would need to come in, as they have all through the hearings. In any case, all the board individuals, Democrat and Republican, tried to zero in altogether on Trump the person, on his lawbreaker direct and individual reluctance to concede that he lost the official political decision by an excess of 7 million votes, and kept away from any conversation of the institutional support which he had from areas of the military knowledge contraption and from inside the actual Congress. Yet, new reports in the corporate press recommend clashes inside the entrepreneur state about whether to back Trump's strategic maneuver and how far to go in doing as such. A report by Lucian Bruggeman and Josh Margolin of ABC News on June 30 proclaimed that Hutchinson's declaration brings up new issues about Secret Service's treatment of Jan. 6. It noticed that the Secret Service may have had timely guidance of the potential for viciousness at the Capitol, however clearly never really ready for it. In any event, moving Vice President Mike Pence, his significant other Karen, and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris, then, at that point, a U.S. representative, to the Capitol with no expanded security. These security breaches might not have been a consequence of inadequacy, yet rather because of conscious moves made by senior White House authorities. Previous Department of Homeland Security official John Cohen said on ABC, where he is presently a paid reporter, in the event that this data was not given to the Secret Service, or on the other hand assuming it was and the Secret Service neglected to grow security activities. That sounds profoundly perplexing. There were a few conflicts between high-ranking representatives and the Secret Service on January 6, with Trump requesting to go with the crowd to the Capitol just to be obstructed by his watchmen, while Vice President Pence would not get into his reinforced vehicle in the Capitol carport since he would have rather not left the structure, but instead needed to be accessible for a resumption of the certificate of discretionary votes. An article in the Washington Post, distributed July 2nd, reports that Trump started voicing his craving to lead a walk to the Capitol close to the furthest limit of 2021, a few days before his head of staff Mark Meadows informed Cassidy Hutchinson that this was being thought of. Exaggerate got it over and over with key counsels the Oval Office, as indicated by an individual who consulted with him about it. The report proceeds, there is no sign that these key guides have yet affirmed about these conversations or about resulting contacts they made with the Pentagon, the Department of Homeland Security, or the FBI. The Post report proceeded. The president told others he needed an emotional, made-for-TV second that could compel Republican legislators to help his interest to toss out the electing school results showing that Joe Biden had crushed him. The individual said, the occasions of the day propose, nonetheless, that the arrangement to go to the Capitol was not driven by worry for TV showy behaviors, however, had an undeniably more vile inspiration. The press was not educated regarding the arranged development. The Post detailed, as is constantly the situation for an authority official activity, Trump was arranging his entrance into the Capitol, not as a media motion, but rather as the main open move toward a fierce overthrow, in which the crowd would either effectively scatter Congress or force the gathered lawmakers, under danger to their lives, to upset the consequences of the 2020 political decision and give the crushed president a proceeded with rent on the White House.
If you made it to the end of the video, kindly hit the subscribe button and leave a comment, it helps the channel.